I woke up in the morning and the sun broke through the open curtains. The birds sang too and they said, this is a day to celebrate and savor the fruit you favor. So I said, okay then, what is the best way to taste the fresh flavors that make the faces?
Woo! We are here, everybody. Thank you for tuning in. This is PS We Have No Plan. This is Emily McManus coming from Nashville, Tennessee.
Hello, hello. This is Peyton Smith coming in from LA. We're happy you're here listening.
We're so happy you're here listening. And honestly, I'm happy we're here listening because we've had some crises today.
Yeah, just a little bit. Just a
Just a
little
little
bit.
Or just like a little, snippet into the last couple of hours, I accidentally deleted the whole website that Peyton made. So
Yes.
that was not lovely.
But we got it back. We got it back, and more to come on what this is, by the way, as well.
Exactly. So that was just a little sneak peek onto a couple things, but 5 stars to Squarespace's tech department because they rock and they really, really, really helped out. So I can't thank them enough because if we would be in a very different spot right now.
I love Squarespace. Squarespace sponsor us because we love Squarespace. It's the most visual, easy website builder out there.
Gorgeous, aesthetically pleasing, everything.
It is a bit pricey. So for people who aren't ready to invest in that, I think there's probably cheaper website builders, but it's so great. I love it.
So good.
Anyways, well, this week's episode is our wellness episode. It's our check-in like we do at the end of every month, the last Thursday of every month. So it's wild. It's already the end of November. Christmas in December is coming up soon.
And this is our 3rd check-in, which is wild too. Oh my gosh, how did we not start off with this? This is our 20th episode.
Oh
my gosh.
So excited.
Okay. So that's pretty cool, right?
That is amazing.
Okay, so 4, 8, 12, 16, 17, 19, 20. That's 5 months. We have been doing this at least for 5 months running. We have made a commitment to a project that we had no idea what it was going to be, and we still are figuring it out, but we have done it, and we have stayed true to it, and we have done this together. And 5 months, that's a really long time.
It's a long time. And we figured out all the little nuts and bolts, and we're even expanding. I mean, it's pretty great. We are chugging along quite faster than I thought. It's good to recognize those moments. It's been 5 months. A lot of times it takes a year just to prep, and then you get all started and you learn. We have put stuff out there for 5 months, and that's exciting.
It is. It really is. And we've been learning along the way. And I imagine that if we go back and listen to the first episode, we will just hear such differences between that and now. I hope we do, but I mean, it's just, I'm proud. I'm proud of us that we've been doing this, and not to be self-serving, but I'm proud of myself because I'm a jumper. I jump around from thing to thing so that we have stayed consistent in this together. I just love it. I really, really do.
I'm so glad to hear that. And I feel I get that too. And I feel like with passion projects, it's really easy to jump around, or hobbies, it's really easy to jump around because you're sort of like, okay, this bores me for right now, so I'm going to jump to another one. And we've pushed through all the little challenges or tough spots. So I agree. Kudos to us.
Right? Kudos. And here we are talking
about
wellness.
Wellness and all that stuff. But I do want to explain my look for those who will see this whole, I don't know if
because now you can watch us on YouTube.
Because now you can watch us on YouTube, and we post clips on our social media. Everyone go check us out. PS We Have No Plan across all social medias. But I am dressed like Wednesday Addams. I have my black claws. I have my like a goth girl little lip. I have my stripes on because I have binge watched Wednesday, the new Tim Burton Netflix series, twice through, and it is so good.
Twice. Is this New Girl?
This is the most unbelievable. Okay, it is just my perfect, I know this is a tangent, we'll get into our wellness, but this is just the perfect kind of mix of show for me. I was obsessed with Sabrina the Teenage Witch growing up. I loved the Addams Family. I obsess over Christina Ricci, who was Wednesday Addams in the original film. I love kind of creepy stuff. Like I loved American Horror Story. So this is just spooky vibes, but it's Tim Burton, which is like fun, quirky, spooky. So it's like perfect.
You nailed it, your look today, because I saw your post, and before I swiped to see that you were even inspired by her, I was like, wow, she looks just like Wednesday.
Oh my God. First of all, thank you. I love that.
You're
Second of all, I think we all need a Wednesday Addams through every generation because she's just this badass, deadpan, says what's on her mind, feminist, extreme, like, I don't know. I just love her. I love her. I love the character. And I think Jenna Ortega, who plays her in this new Netflix series, did such a great job. She was born for this role. And Christina Ricci, the original Wednesday Addams, is in this new series.
Okay, I thought she was. Oh, she's the teacher. Is she the teacher at, and I've only seen like snippets of the first episode, but at the second school that she goes to, or the first school?
Second school.
Okay,
yes.
then that's
so she goes to a normal high school and then she goes to the Nevermore school. So it's like Harry Potter. You're not into magic and all that stuff, are you? You don't love fantasy type stuff.
I don't like fantasy, which is weird because I live in a fairy tale in my head. You know what I mean? Like, I love magic and I love the feeling of it and like just that like ethereal, like glimmering sunshine, stars, sparkling rain everywhere. But no, I've never gotten into that at all. I mean, I'll watch it if Harry Potter is on. Like the other night it was on for Thanksgiving. I'm like, this is a good holiday movie. Like for some reason it just brings cozy vibes, but no, I'm not a fantasy girl.
Well, that's all right. You know what? Some of us love Tim Burton and the creepy spookiness of the world, and some of us don't. So you're either on one side.
Here reading self-help books with a bottle of champagne. And that's, you know what? And that's why we're balanced out here at PS We Have No Plan.
Balance. Oh my gosh. Okay, well, let's check in with our wellness goals because
we did have goals. I know.
We did have goals. And I'm trying to remember. We always try to remember what our goals were. I think
I remember.
Oh, what's yours?
Okay, so mine was to run 4 times a week.
Oh, how'd that go?
It didn't go very well, to be honest with you.
Okay.
And it's okay. I am not giving myself grace for an excuse, but I've been having a foot injury problem.
Oh, well, that's, a little hard to run.
Yes, it is. It is. So I've been walking my dog at least that much every week. So I'm very proud of that at least. But I'm working through something with my right foot. It comes and goes, but now it's been here for a while. And every time I touch the top of my right foot, it shoots like a pain up my shin. I know. So to be determined on what's going to happen next, but I'm bound and determined to like get back after it because I love to run.
Well, you know what? I feel like that's a good adjustment. You're like, I still want to commit to myself and move 4 times a week, right? But I can't really run. So walking is a great alternative. So that's good.
Yeah.
I think mine was to cook 4 times a week. That reminded me when you said the 4 times.
Yes.
Or 4 dinners a week because I'm an ordering in gal. I didn't do great with that either. I think it's just like, again, you're right. I'm immediately go to the
no
excuse.
Judgment.
I know, no judgment, but it's definitely, I think my mind goes 1,000 miles a minute from the second I wake up. And by the time I am ready to cook for myself, I just can't get myself to care. I'm like, I'm working on this website, for example. I'm watching this new show and researching on the side how they created it, where it was filmed in Romania, by the way. And it was like all these different things. I just go deep into things and then I just can't get myself to stop to cook a healthy meal. It's the last thing I want to do. So didn't do it this week, but I probably cooked 2 to 3 dinners a week.
I mean, that's still a win.
I think that's still a win. I cooked more and then I, ate leftovers. And yeah, my health journey has just not been like too great.
Mine's not been good at all. It's really not been. And but it's okay. It's okay. It ebbs and it flows. And
yes,
I think it's in a strange way, knowing that it hasn't been great. I have been in the healthiest spot mentally with it as I've been in a long time because
that's great.
Recognizing it and honoring where I'm at, but knowing that I want to be better.
And it's really tough to kickstart something at the end of the year when there's seasons and family and stressors and excitement and get-togethers and holidays. Like it's really hard. And the weather is sort of gloomy and you sort of just want to curl up in a ball. So if anyone else is going through this, we hear you, we get it.
Yes.
And maybe we can set a little bit more achievable goals for next month.
I think that's a good one. And you know what? If anybody that is listening to wants to do like a little check-in every week on social media, I feel like Instagram could be a good spot for that. We can just cheer each other on. You can tag us at PS We Have No Plan every time that you're kind of working on your weekly wellness goal. And maybe that's something that we can do to keep each other kind of just thinking on it. Maybe not accountable fully at this point because we see that we have a lot of work to do, but just that it's in our orbit.
I think so. I think that's great. And I'm going to adjust my wellness goal for this next month to make it more mental, emotional, because for me, the holiday seasons can bring up a lot for whatever reason. So I think I am going to set my next goal to be writing 3 things I'm grateful for every single morning. Ooh. That's my, and then I'm going to have a second one. I want to journal at the end of each day, like just, even if it's just a sentence, just how I'm feeling, what's going on in my mind. That's a daily thing. I'm going to do both those things.
That is actually quite along the lines of what I've been thinking about for myself too. I have not been like writing music or anything for a long time now. I'd say probably 2 years. Like it's been a really, really long time. And I know like with anything, it's a muscle and you just have to start again. And so mine is going to be to write every night. It doesn't have to be anything that makes sense or for a certain reason or topic, but I'm going to write every night.
Oh, I love this. And we can definitely document, or if we're going to remember to document this on social media for everyone. Cause I think it does inspire me when I see, like I follow a lot of book girls, like people who post a lot of their readings and their writings and stuff. And it gets me in the mood to read and write. So I think if we do that on PS We Have No Plan, that can help others kind of remind them to check in with themselves.
That's brilliant. I think that's great. Definitely.
Love.
Like kind of like unite us all together in a little community.
Yep. 100%.
Yes.
So maybe with that, with the wellness stuff, so how, and just the holiday season, because I think this is also an important topic that goes along with wellness. How do you feel going into this holiday season?
That's such a good question. I think it's a layered answer, to be honest with you. So as you know, and I'm sure if people listen, they know too, I work for a florist on the side. And during the holidays, we decorate houses for Christmas inside and out. And it's so beautiful and it's charming and lovely. And we see just incredible houses, to be honest. But yesterday I found myself kind of getting sad because I miss going home for Christmas. I really, really do. My mom has been here now for 6 years and my dad is now in South Carolina. So, when we sold our family home, that going home for Christmas feel wasn't there anymore. And for some reason, like this year, like I'm even tearing up now thinking about it. I just really yearn for that. I yearn for like that nostalgic, just going home and being cozy and comfortable. And so it puts me in kind of like a melancholy position of the holiday feels, I still love it and I'm so excited, but it's definitely has me feeling sappy and emotional lately.
I completely get that. I completely get that. And my family we sold our family home as well, I guess a year ago. This will be our first Christmas not going back there. And I totally understand. I think it's a really weird feeling as an adult being married and having your own new family to like, yes, it's great and wonderful. And I'm staring at my cute little tree my husband and I picked up last weekend and, it's great, but you're so right. There is something that's sad about Christmas.
Sorry everybody, I'm very emotional right now about it. I'm crying. Like just the other night I was like dreaming about going into my my bed in my old bedroom. And I
Oh,
don't know if that sounds crazy or I am PMSing, so that could be it as well. But I I miss that. Like
yeah.
I just miss that feeling of home.
Yeah. It's a really special feeling and it's hard to even put into words and the
Yeah.
holidays definitely bring that nostalgia back for sure. And you just want to be like that little kid that's safe and protected
Yes.
and believes in, like you said earlier, believes in magic and has the excitement and the comfort of their parents to wake them up, and it's
Yeah,
sad.
you have like that you have those like memories of emotions. And okay guys, I'm going to be stuffy the rest of this time, so I am so sorry, more than normal. But those feelings don't go away, and like you romanticize more and more each year as you get older. And I think that's normal with anything in life. But for me, Christmas and the holidays, it's just like exponentially bigger. And I am a sucker. I am a sucker for it. And there is nothing, oh my God, that gets me more emotional than talking about like my childhood homes. And I don't know why that is, but
Did
I
you
am a wreck now.
did you live in the same childhood home for majority of your life?
No. And that is what's
Okay.
weird too. Like, I think I would say we had three
Okay.
that were like main imprints, and they were all at different times. But the last one, and maybe this is for another episode, but like it was the last place my family was all together, like as a family before
Mhm.
divorce, and everybody moved to different spots. And so I think it just has like a different
Mhm.
feeling to me. And it was just such like it was the dream house. It was beautiful and big and on a lake and a huge yard and like giant fireplaces. I mean, it was these houses that I go into now to decorate
Mm.
were the house that I used to live in. And I think that just brings up like the memories of missing it.
Mhm. Mhm. And
Yeah.
the feeling of being whole, and
Yes.
it's I I love that you're sharing this, and I'm sorry. I'm
Oh,
honestly
it's good
happy
for
that you're
me. It's
showing
it's
emotion.
good for
Yeah,
me. Like,
it
yeah.
is. It's really healthy. And I was oddly thinking about this on my walk with Maisie this morning. I sometimes have these monologues in my head where I think about my life. And I was thinking about this exact thing where, like, I'm very emotional as well. And I can feel deep and dark and sad. And that is so beautiful that we can feel that
Yeah,
deeply. Like, I
it
think
is.
to numb out life and to get to a place where things feel numb and not exciting or hard or challenging or bitter, or like to lose that passion about life and those
Right.
feelings, that would be so much worse
It would
than
be. It really
feeling
would be.
deeply, right?
Yeah, and also it's just like, thank God I have something to miss.
Yes,
I was
truly.
very, very fortunate to have had that time, that
Hmm.
house and everything. And now I have like beautiful memories, but
Hmm.
it is not everybody has things and times and moments to miss. And so I do have to remember that even if it can be hard.
Hmm. And honestly, the reason why I even opened up this whole combo around holiday season and the feelings is because I think Christmas time especially can be what, even for those so let me back up. But one of my friends is Jewish, one of my very
Yeah.
good friends who I work with, and she was like, I just feel like it's honestly really hard for me leading up into the end of the year, and Christmas doesn't feel like something I'm even a part of, and can be, obviously she doesn't,
Right.
celebrate it, but it's also just all over the internet. And she's like, it can make me feel really excluded, and especially when I'm away from my family. Um, and so that's a part of it. And then there's another part of it for those of us who do celebrate it and who do, who are Christian and whatever, celebrate Christmas. It's like you're supposed to be happy. There's a pressure to be really happy and wholesome and together and feel really
Yeah.
connected,
Yeah.
right? So it's like either way, whether you celebrate it or you don't celebrate it, it's a feeling that if you're not in the best place with surrounded by your like connected family and friends, it can feel really sad.
It can. And I think a lot of that is we put the pressure. I know I put
I
the pressure on
know.
it. And then I'm like, I just want it to be like this Hallmark movie every
Yep.
year. Like I really do. And it's wild. I'm so glad you said it about your friend who's Jewish, because in my mind, and I believe in God, but I'm not a hugely religious person. I don't even think of Christmas as a religious thing. I just think of it as this time of year that is just magic.
Mm-hmm.
And I know that's very different probably from what most people think, but it's just it's a time that is everywhere, like you said, portrayed on
Mm-hmm.
TV,
Mm-hmm. In the
storefronts.
stores. Yep.
Yes, yes.
Yep.
It's not like you can escape it.
Right.
It's
Right.
not at all. And I don't want to. I don't want to. And I'm sure most people don't, but you're right. Like it can still like it doesn't always just bring the like cozy vibes.
No. And and I think it's just a part of also getting older.
I know.
It can break you down really easily because it feels heavier. And I feel like with every year you break a little bit more, as morbid as that sounds, but I really do. And I think it's some people are their wears and tears are a bit more visible, and some are, hold them inside, but it's really hard to grow up. And Emily and I talk about this. We talk about this
I
all the
hate it.
time. It's really hard. And it's just not talked about enough that it's a hard thing. Even the happy things are hard.
It's so
Even the
true.
good
And
things
I
are
mean,
sad.
and that was the antithesis, if that's the right word, of this podcast, to be just like truly to talk about the moments of growing up that are just fucking hard and like,
Yep.
are not brought to the forefront in conversation. Or if
Yeah.
like you're feeling it, maybe you don't feel like you have somebody that you could talk about
Yeah.
that feels the same way. Like, no, I wasn't overly excited to get married. I love my husband.
Yeah.
But I wasn't overly excited to get married. Yes, Christmas, I'm sad right now.
Yeah.
I mean, and it's okay to have those conflicting feelings about different life moments. And as
Yeah.
we get older, like it's hard. Life isn't linear.
No, it's definitely not. And you're so right. This is why we started the podcast, and we used it as a way to get to know one another and share stories, but it's also just to dive deeper into these things that just typically get glossed over. And it's really hard to stop and pause and feel because we have busy lives, right? And
Yes.
jobs and things to do.
Yes, and
And
especially during this year, I find
yeah,
because it's fleeting. Like
yeah,
these few months are fleeting, and it's almost like I want to hold on to like every day and like do everything that we're supposed to do during the holidays, but it goes so fast. It goes so fast, and it's the buildup. It's like
mhm,
the buildup that is the best part. But I mean, I finally understand like when my mom would say, and my dad, like you guys just grow up so fast. Like I get it.
mhm,
Time passes way too fast.
yeah.
And it's a good
And
reminder to just really try and be present.
I completely agree. And also when the feelings get overwhelming around this season, it's also okay to not I don't know if anyone else feels this way, but I feel like a pressure to do all of the things, like watch all of the
Yeah.
classic movies at the right time every single night and drink a particular wine, my Cabernet that I love, the dark red, and to listen to Christmas music every time we get in a car and all these things. And it's like, hold on, if I don't feel like that, like I feel like listening to sad Bon Iver music on my walk today and dressing like Wednesday Addams, it
Yeah.
doesn't matter that it's close to December. Do whatever you feel like you need to do, because that actually might be your body saying, or your brain saying, hey, let's avoid these feelings for a second, or let's feel something else, or let's ground yourself in reality, or
Exactly.
it could
Exactly.
be just your body telling you need something different than the happy, cheery
Most
kumbaya.
definitely. And when July comes around, like it did for us, you could have Christmas in July. So
Exactly.
you don't have to do it at a certain spot, but you're right. You do feel like you have to do something at a certain point
Yeah.
at this time of year. Yeah.
Because
Of
to your
course.
point, it's short, right? And it goes away.
So
And
short.
then you're like, oh God, I missed it. So
Yes.
I think it's just releasing the pressure. It's acknowledging that it's hard, right? Those
Oh
are the
yeah.
things you just have to do during this time.
You do. You do. And just also like know that it's okay to feel sad. I know you already said that, but like if you have moments where it's not like your ideal mood that you wish you were in at this time of year, it's okay. You
It
know, and
definitely
like
is.
get up the next day and try your best and just it's all you can do.
Yes. And if this time, I know there's a lot of like diet culture and brands that are
Right,
pushing all
right.
these be physical and how to get through the holidays with a healthy kick and healthier versions of drinks and all these different things. If that is getting you overwhelmed, maybe set a different wellness goal than a
Yes.
physical during this
Yes.
month. Maybe just try instead to live in the moment and enjoy all the fucking food you can, and instead set a goal around emotional or
Exactly. To try it,
spiritual something.
maybe your goal is to not set a physical goal,
Yep.
right? Because
Just for a month, right?
Right.
Like, and then it'll be a new year and you know you're going to want to feel whatever, active and whatever.
Yeah.
But it's like maybe just for the next month, like just focus on different things.
Just
maybe that'll help.
chill the fuck out.
Yeah.
That could be a goal. I would love
That's
to
a
chill the
goal.
fuck out.
Oh my God. I really do think
Oh.
that would be helpful though, truly.
Well, you know what? I feel like our goals are aligned with that right now.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, sorry, everybody. I just burped up my Celsius.
Emily slowly breaking down.
Slowly, slowly, like a leaf falling off of a tree. Anyway,
So Christmas time.
Woo!
Wellness.
So I know on this episode we wanted to talk about friendship, so that's going to be another really positive part.
We did. You're right. We wanted to talk about friendships,
The
breaking apart.
deterioration of them.
Holy shit. Oh my God. Okay. Well, I mean, maybe we can just slightly touch on this because this other topic came up this week.
You do you, Peach. I mean, we're here. We're recording. We're rolling.
You know what? We're going.
Yeah.
I texted Emily because I was like, you know what? I'm posting this blog on friendships and growing up. It does sort of go along with what we're saying. Growing up and getting and growing differently from your friends and from your family is fucking hard. Okay.
Yes.
I'm sorry, we're swearing a lot, but
That's
it's hard. It's what we do. And friendships thank you.
Sorry.
Get over it. Friendships in particular are really hard because again, it's something we gloss over, right? Romantic loves, it's like we write movies and sing songs about it, but friendships breaking apart, I don't know. It's sad. It's hard.
It is hard. It is hard.
And
do you want to divulge? Or is this you don't have to. You don't have to because it go on. Sorry.
Well, no, I mean, I feel like it's not a particular friendship that I was even thinking about. It was just in whole, in the same way that you started crying about your family and this feeling of wholeness in a home, in your family home. I had that same feeling with friends in the past, and they were very huge. And I used to put such an emphasis on friendships because my parents both worked and they were really busy. And then I moved around a lot and for all the different reasons. I really cared about friends. And I feel like now that I'm entering in my late 20s, and maybe you went through this too, it's just everyone has their own lives. And I feel like we're all in different places. And some people are single and some people are married and some people are prioritizing dating and some people are prioritizing their new families and having kids or whatever else. And it's like, I feel distance and I hate it.
No, it's very hard. It's very hard. And you know, I think expectations are different on each side as well.
Exactly.
And one of my close friends and I are kind of in the midst of that right now. Like we both have different expectations of what this friendship needs to be. And it's hard when one's expectation is counter to another's personality.
Yes.
And so I think that just creates frustration.
It does. And especially again, during this time where you're all coming together and everyone's posting about their, like, look at me and my dog and my happy little family. It can just make you almost bitter and angry for all the things that you feel like you're lacking. And it's really hard to be mature and be like, okay, it's okay that I don't have this or that. And that my friend has this or that. And she's not including me in this or that.
Yes.
It's just, I'm trying really hard to not be sensitive. And to your point, recognizing that everyone has different expectations. Everyone has different priorities. Everyone has different lives. I'm not going to be everyone's priority. And that's just the reality, right?
Right. But at the same time, the other, like, we have to be aware of it, of what we expect, but we also have to be aware of what
Yeah.
the other expects, you know? And I think that that's a hard, and I'll just go in, like, because perhaps this, I feel like it might be leaning into kind of what you're dealing with.
Yeah.
My one friend is very social, and she would hang out every single day if she could. And I mean, all about it. And I'm the anti. Like, I will hang out once a month if tops, you know what I mean? And like, I really don't see my friends often at all. And it's not because I don't want to necessarily. There's a lot going on in life. There really is. And so if I do have an afternoon that I don't have to do anything, I'm not going to hang out. I'm just going to hang out with myself. But I've realized that that makes her feel that I don't care about the friendship and that I don't prioritize our friendship, which does make me sad because that's not the case at all. You know, for me, it's just, I've always been the friend of, oh, we don't see each other, and then we just pick up where we left off in a month or whatever it is, like, or we'll text and we'll do all that, and it's no big deal, like, we don't have to see each other. But I'm finding out that that's not how everybody else feels about friendship, and that can
Yeah.
cause a lot of discussions.
Wow, that is really interesting because I am you're my friend and I'm
Yeah.
your
Yeah, that's
friend.
why I felt like I
Right?
should have just
Yes.
spoken about it,
No,
because I had that feeling. Yeah.
that is how I've been feeling with not just one, again, not just one friendship in particular, a few friends of mine who I just used to have such a great banter with and hanging out with all the time. And I'm in this new city and I figure we would hang out all the time and we were every single day we'd do something. And that's just not been the case in the past 5 or 6 months since I've lived here. And every single month I've felt a little bit more burned by that.
Ugh.
And instead of verbalizing it, I'm really trying to I really am just trying to see it like we're just growing up and growing differently. And that's okay. And our friendship is going to grow up and grow differently. That's what happens to friendship when you when you grow up. It's not like you're going to class together every day and texting each other, let's have a
Right.
sleepover. That is really fucking hard for me though. I don't like adulthood friendships.
It's hard.
I don't
Well,
like them.
I think kind of something that fucked us up a little bit too is quarantine, when we were all home
Yes.
24/7.
Yes.
So literally, like, you were able to stay connected 24/7, you know?
Yes.
And it was just it was a very, very different kind of relationship that we were creating with each other.
Yes.
And now crawling out of that, I think there's a very big learning curve, and it's easier for some and harder for others. And I
Yes.
think on both sides of it, though, in different ways.
Yep, 100%. And yep. And it's funny because my little sister, when I was venting to her about different things, she was like, "Well, what do you want to get out of that? Like, what do you want to have? You can confront these friends that you're, doing this with, right? You're talking over each other, you're not seeing each other eye to eye. But what's the goal? Because you've loved your alone time and you've loved, right? Like working on yourself and building this thing with Emily and hanging out with Luke. And she's like, so do you want to have more friend time? Is that what you're lacking? Do you want to go out more? Do you want to go to bars? Is that what you're missing? And I sort of was like, no, I just feel hurt that I don't feel like I'm on their radar, which is a
No,
me
it
thing.
makes
Is that a
sense.
me thing? I
No,
don't know.
it makes sense, because I do think that that's what I've projected onto my friend. Like, I really think through our
Interesting.
conversations that that's how she has felt as well. And it's never been my intention,
Right.
like, at all. I've been in my hermit phase, just so you know.
Right.
I
No,
am a
same.
hermit.
Yeah. Yeah.
So it's hard. I think this is another thing about growing up, is just learning the different
Yeah.
ways of friendship communication
Yes.
and just what's needed in different friendships. And also that even though I don't need that, it doesn't mean that another friend doesn't.
Yeah.
And it doesn't mean that I don't need to give that to a friend.
Yeah. And it's also a good to your friend. It's also a good shout, because I feel this way. Make different friends. Make lots of different friends, because some
Right.
friends are going to be more hermits and not want to connect every single day. And some friends are going to be more social and want to plan big trips. And some friends are going to be that phone call when you're crying and don't know and you feel really lost. And like that's that's another big lesson that I had to learn growing up, is like, make a lot of different types of friends, because putting all your eggs in one basket is asking too much of a person.
Right. And the hard part about it is those friends are all going to change anyway, because I'm a different friend than I was a couple years ago. And it's true. Like, if you're not changing, you're not living.
Yeah.
So
Agreed.
I think it's just one of those brutal fucking things that you have to
really
go
hard.
through. Yeah.
That's what I mean. And it's the same thing about growing up and not having the same childhood home and spending Christmas in a different way. It's the same thing as like, getting older and worrying about all the commitments you have and all these different, like, growing up and changing is supposed to be uncomfortable. It's not supposed to be this fluid thing that you see in movies. It's just not.
Yeah. My grandpa always said, if you're comfortable, it's time to move on. And I've always remembered that. My parents have always told us that over and over, because it's true. It's like, I mean, obviously there are some exceptions, but if you're comfortable, that means you're not pushing yourself and you're not learning and you're not growing and developing as a person and like experiencing new things or new people or places. And I think that's important.
I think so too. And remember, also, this is something I'm going through right now, is it sometimes will shift what you can focus on, right? Like, whether sometimes it's like, I'm feeling a lack in this area, so I'm going to focus really hard on that. And then it's going to be like, oh, I feel really challenged in my job, so I'm actually looking for more comfort with friends, or I'm feeling really challenged in my relationships, right? It's going to vary, and you're just going to have to ebb and flow with it. And sometimes they're all going to feel challenging, and that's when shit breaks down. And that happened to me too. Right when I moved, I felt like the world was crashing.
Well, the world that your feeling. World was a little bit.
It was.
And it's also okay to like recognize that for you, it was, and it's okay to like sit in that for a little bit.
Yes. No, you're absolutely right. I was saying that to Luke. I think it was that particular moment when I moved, my family dog died, my grandpa died, my family sold their home and moved to Denver. I was leaving this community after 5 years that we had lived in the same apartment to a brand new city. Luke started residency, right? I've gone through this.
No, all of these everything.
All my bucket, and I changed teams, right? Earlier in this year. So it was like all these things were different. And I was like, no,
check out, please.
Exactly. And so now it's also good to recognize, the same way that you started this episode, of like, I'm proud of myself for getting through that and navigating, right, a new normal for myself. And I do feel like I did it a lot of on my own. I feel like I did do a lot of this by myself, and that was a necessary lesson.
Right. You had to. Your parents were in different spots. Luke was, like you said, in residency. You had to pull yourself up yourself.
Yeah, I didn't have many friends on my team, and I was making new friends here, and my old friends here I felt were kind of checked out from me. Right. And that was hard, but it was also a really important lesson. So I feel that way about all this stuff that we've talked about today. It's supposed to happen. If you just believe that, like, the challenge, the sadness, the emotions, the shit, it's supposed to happen for some reason. And really believe that, because it's like, you can't grow without challenge, right?
No, it's so true. And it's, if you need a little comfort, it might not be a lot of comfort, but just to know that it was supposed to happen. Like, that's just the way it was. There's nothing you can do to change the alignment of those stars. That's it. So let's do what we can, the best we can with what we have, and like, go along for the ride.
Right. I love that. And remember, I mean, to end this wellness episode, like, take it easy on yourself. The holidays are both beautiful and challenging, and maybe set some goals around your emotional well-being, because that's important, people.
It's so important. It's so important. It really is, as you can see.
As you can see, this was a great episode, though.
I feel like it was very needed. I feel like it was a good release for us to just talk and like for me to cry. And
yes,
sometimes you just need to have those.
You just do. And you need to like vent about how good Wednesday Addams is.
Oh, fuck yeah.
Do.
And with that, we say, thank you for watching PS We Have No
Thank
Plan.
I woke up in the morning and the sun broke through the open curtains. The birds sang too and they said, this is a day to celebrate and savor the fruit you favor. So I said, okay then, what is the best way to